As the seconds ticked by underneath the Wembley arch, Manchester United needed a jolt of inspiration. Erik ten Hag's side had battled well to stay in the game against Man City, but they lacked the same attacking energy or enterprise that their neighbours had in abundance. It is performances in these showpiece finals that can define the legacy of a player. It was the no-show from Jadon Sancho that cast further doubt over his future at the club. That spark wasn't as bright as they hoped, but it did flicker towards the end. Not from their £73 million forward, but from one who cost them just £100,000 instead. While Sancho operates with a more methodical and considered style of play, teenager Alejandro Garnacho prefers a fast and frantic one. As the other attackers strolled around at a relaxed park-run pace, Garnacho livened up the attack as if he were being chased by a pack of wolves. He is so direct and eager to impress that he can often run into blind alleys or make poor decisions, but it is a welcome contrast to Sancho and Antony's almost reluctance to beat a man in the final third. Garnacho not only showed more in half an hour than Sancho did in almost 80 minutes in the FA Cup final, but has shown more in his 36 senior appearances for the club than the English forward has in 79 as well. With fresh speculation surrounding the uncertain future of the former Borussia Dortmund forward, Garnacho's progress certainly gives United more reason to consider any offer that comes their way this summer. Sancho has already been linked with Aston Villa, Brighton and Tottenham this week, while reports have also suggested that Dortmund could look into a loan move for their former forward. The Manchester Evening News revealed back in April that Erik ten Hag was beginning to lose patience with the English forward, and despite being given plenty of opportunities during the run-in, he did little to change perceptions. While there remains a belief that the 23-year-old could fulfill his enormous potential with a little more time, there must also be a real temptation to sell him if an appropriate offer comes in so that funds can be invested elsewhere. The harsh truth is that in 2 seasons at the club, his highlights reel could still be squeezed into a vine, and Sancho has rarely looked like the player they felt represented somewhat of a bargain for only £73 million 2 years ago. There is even an argument to say that selling him would be in the best long-term interest of the club, so that they can recoup some of the enormous fee invested in him and allow Garnacho the room to grow in his place. The 18-year-old could well make his senior debut for Argentina this week, but he faces competition from both Sancho and Marcus Rashford if he is to play in his favoured left-wing role next season. It means that realistically one of Sancho or Garnacho will have to be the third-choice option in their preferred position, and based on their evidence in a United shirt, there is only one winner right now. A crumb of comfort it is that Ten Hag could still work his magic to restore Sancho to former glories, though there have to be some doubts about that happening after another largely stagnant season. It could also be argued that a fresh start is the best next step for all parties involved, so that the club can move on from the player and he can move on from an underwhelming United spell. They already have his replacement.